On the floor by Chairman Daniel So and second by Honorable Freeland. Colleagues, to go ahead and continue on this legislation. I'm going to go ahead and ask first for that motion to get out of executive session, and then second, we'll take a vote. The motion to get out of
Motion by Delegate Nez.
by Honorable Slater, second by
Second by Otto So.
Nez. Yes. No. Later. Go ahead and vote, colleagues. We'll go to the board. And that was officially at 9:08, 9:09, 9:09.
Honorable Elmer Begay, how do you vote? Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay did not vote. Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr., how do you vote?
Chairman Key
Honorable-
Allen Green.
Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Paul Begay, how do you vote? Honorable Paul Begay. Honorable Paul Begay did not vote. Honorable Nathaniel Brown is excused. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote? Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton.
Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Amber Knez-Bakrati, how do you vote? Honorable Amber Knez-Bakrati. Honorable Amber Knez-Bakrati did not vote. Presiding Chair, Honorable Speaker Damon not voting. Honorable Herman Daniels is excused. Honorable Mark Freeland, how do you vote? Honorable Mark Freeland. Honorable Mark Freeland did not vote. Honorable Pernell Halona, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Pernell Halona votes green. Honorable Jamie Henio, how do you vote? Honorable Jamie Henio. Honorable Jamie Henio did not vote. Honorable Vince James, how do you vote? Honorable Vince James votes green via text. Honorable Rick Nez, how do you vote?
Delegate Rick Nez votes green.
Honorable Rick Nez votes green. Honorable Carl Slater, how do you vote? Honorable Carl Slater votes green. Honorable Raymond Smith Jr., Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr., and Honorable Charlene So are excused. Honorable Daniel So, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Daniel So votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
I vote God is the show.
Honorable Eugene So votes green. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Otto So votes green. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr., how do you vote?
Thomas Walker votes green.
Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. votes green. Honorable Edison Juanica, how do you vote? Honorable Edison Juanica. Honorable Edison Juanica did not vote. Honorable Edmund Yazzie is excused. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair, how do you vote? Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair did not vote. Going back up, Honorable Elmer Begay, how do you vote? Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay did not vote. Honorable Paul Begay, how do you vote? Honorable Paul Begay votes green via text. Honorable Amber Knez-Bakrati, how do you vote?
Oh, Shadeja, this is Delegate Crotty. I vote green. Thank you.
Honorable Amber Knez-Bakrati votes green. Honorable Mark Freeland, how do you vote?
Green. Thank you.
Honorable Mark Freeland votes green. Honorable Jamie Henio, how do you vote? Honorable Jamie Henio. Honorable Jamie Henio did not vote. Honorable Edison Juanica, how do you vote?
India votes green.
Honorable Jamie Henio votes green. Once more, Honorable
Vice Chair
Edison
Smith.
Juanica.
Green.
Honorable Edison Juanica votes green. Honorable Raymond
Vice
Smith Jr., how do you vote?
Green. Thank you.
Honorable Raymond Smith Jr. votes green. Honorable Edmund Yazzie is excused. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair, how do you vote? Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair. Honorable Jimmy. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair did not vote. With that, Honorable
I
Speaker,
vote
you have
green. Dr. Yeller votes green.
Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair votes green. With that, Honorable Speaker, you have 17 delegates that voted in favor, 0 who opposed, with presiding chair not voting.
Thank you very much. With that, colleagues, 17 in favor, 0 opposed. Chair not voting, motion carries. Now we're back in session here.
Speaker.
Naabik'íyáti committee. I'm sorry, I lost there. And we are on legislation 0045-22, sponsored by Vice Chair Walker, co-sponsored by Honorable Charlene. So I don't have anybody in the queue at this time. Honorable Adoso, I think that's you. Were you wanting to speak at this time?
Yes, I was just going to say that since we had the discussion, let's just go directly to vote and move on. Thank you.
That colleagues, is there any other comments or questions at this time? And twice. Or 3 times. Let's go to board on legislation 0045-22.
Honorable Elmer Begay, how do you vote? Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay did not vote. Honorable Kealan Begay Jr., how do you vote?
Kealan votes green. Thank you.
Honorable Kealan Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Paul Begay, how do you vote?
Delegate Paul Begay votes green.
Honorable Paul Begay votes green. Honorable Nathaniel Brown is excused. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Amber Knez-Bakrati, how do you vote?
Shadeja, Delegate Amber Knez-Bakrati. I vote green. Thank you.
Honorable Amber Knez-Bakrati votes green. Presiding Chair, Honorable Speaker Damon not voting. Honorable Herman Daniels is excused. Honorable Mark Freeland, how do you vote? Honorable Mark
Green.
Freeland.
Green.
Honorable Mark Freeland votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona, how do you vote?
Colin votes green.
Honorable Pernell Halona votes green. Honorable Jamie Henio, how do you vote? Honorable
votes green.
Jamie Henio votes green. Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Delegate James votes green.
Honorable Vince James votes green. Honorable Rick Nez, how do you vote?
Delegate Rick Nez votes green.
Honorable Rick Nez votes green. Honorable Carl Slater, how do you vote? Honorable Carl Slater votes green. Honorable Raymond Smith Jr., how do you vote?
Green.
Honorable Raymond Smith Jr. votes green. Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr. and Honorable Charlene So are excused. Honorable Daniel So, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Daniel So votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Voters, oh, so,
Honorable Eugene So votes green. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
Vote green.
Honorable Otto So votes green. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr., how do you vote?
Thomas Walker votes green.
Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. votes green. Honorable Edison Juanica, how do you vote?
Green.
Honorable Edison Juanica votes green. Honorable Edmund Yazzie is excused. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair, how do you vote?
I'll vote green.
Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair votes green. Going back up, Honorable Elmer Begay, how do you vote? Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay did not vote. With that, Honorable Speaker, you have 17 delegates that voted in favor and 0 who opposed, with presiding chair not voting.
Thank you very much. With that, colleagues, on legislation 0045-32, 17 in favor, 0 opposed, chair not voting, motion carries. All right, move on down, legislation 0048-22, Honorable Freeland, then Honorable Otto So.
Speaker, thank you. I just wanted just to entertain a motion for a consent agenda for the remaining items left, E, F, and G, due to it getting a little bit late, and we have staff that have to drive back as far away as the Kuchigai and Crystal from Windsor. We need to think of their safety. If we could consider that consent agenda for the remaining items due to it getting late and staff having to drive home. Thank you, Santa. My motion, Speaker. Please.
All right, thank you very much. I was just clarifying something here. That there's a motion, colleagues, for a consent agenda for legislations E, which is 0048-22. It's an action related to the RDC, HESI, BNF, Naabik'íyáti Committee, and the Navajo Nation Council. allocating $29,216,453 in CSN funds to the Navajo Land Nursing Home, Inc. for the construction operation of the Veterans Nursing Home, approving the Navajo Warriors Home Expenditure Plan pursuant to 12 NNC subsection 2025-01 to 2508, sponsored by Honorable Slater, co-sponsored by Honorable Keelan Begay, co-sponsored by Honorable Paul Begay, co-sponsored by Honorable Brown, co-sponsored by Honorable Halona, co-sponsored by Honorable James, co-sponsored by Chairman Nez, co-sponsored by Vice Chair Smith, co-sponsored by Honorable Stewart, co-sponsored by Chairman Daniel So, co-sponsored by Honorable Eugene So, co-sponsored by Honorable Wanika. With that, item number F, legislation 0052-22, action related to RDC, BNF, and Naabik'íyáti Committee and Navajo Nation Council, approving $267,184 from the UUFB for Animal Rescue Inc. to conduct the Navajo Nation Spray Neuter Vaccination Blitz 2022 from April to September 2022 in cooperation with the Navajo Nation Animal Control Program. Sponsors by Honorable Eugene So. Item number G 0062-22 is actually the RDC and Naabik'íyáti Committee amending CJA-01-21 and NABIS-36-21 to extend the deadlines for the expenditure of CSN funds for chapter heavy equipment purchases for the Department of Water Resources Emergency Project, sponsored by Honorable Freeland, co-sponsored by Honorable Stewart, co-sponsored by Honorable Eugene. So that, colleagues, there is 3 items that has already amended the agenda for to having a consent agenda item added on. With that, is there a second to Honorable Freeland's motion?
Second.
Second by Chairman Daniel So. That, colleagues, any comments, questions? Twice. Chairman Henio. Chairman Henio.
Speaker Damon, Chair of the committee. Just one thing is, there are questions I have regarding the 3 legislations. And so therefore, if the motion parties wishes to the staff, then you should motion to adjourn. We can hear this at another Naabik'íyáti committee, but I'd like to take all 3 about the consent agenda.
Okay, so you have questions on all 3 of them? Chairman Henio? Okay, with that, there's no consent agenda. Huh? Why?
I have questions too, Delegate. So, thank you.
Okay, with that, moving on down, Honorable Otto So. Come back to the floor. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I'm going to motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Honorable Otto So at 9:28 p.m. Is there a second?
Second, Delegate James.
Second by Honorable Vince James. That, colleagues, any comments, questions? And twice.
Speaker Damon, this is Delegate Crotty.
Yes, Madam Chair, floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. If I could ask staff to send the committee the written report regarding the Department of Justice tribal consultation on violence in our communities and our on Navajo Nation's recommendations on missing and murdered Indigenous peoples. Thank you, Speaker. We'll be ready to provide the report at the next Naabik'íyáti. Thank you.
Right, and that's in reference to the report under item number 6A, correct, Madam Chair?
Yes, Speaker, thank you. And I appreciate your staff for helping us.
Okay. There's no other comments, questions, going twice.
Speaker.
Yes,
Freeland.
Honorable Slater and then Honorable Freeland. Honorable Slater.
Thank you, Speaker. Colleagues, Mr. Claw from the senior home and Delegate Hale have been on Nabi since 10 a.m. this morning, and I would appreciate the opportunity to present legislation 4822. Been in the chamber all day today without any heat with the staff, and really appreciate the opportunity to move this legislation forward to the spring council session. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Slater. Vice Chair Slater, with that, Honorable Freeland. Or is there on a
Speaker,
motion to adjourn?
okay, Speaker, I second Honorable Slater's request, but in regards to the last legislation on item G on the agenda, would that be under old business on the next Naabik'íyáti agenda? Thank you, Speaker.
Whatever we don't deal with, that will still be considered under new business. Honorable Freeland.
Okay, thank you.
That. There's no other discussion
Speaker Callan.
on Naabik'íyáti or motion adjourn.
I mean, these legislations are going to the council. Maybe we can address your questions and even submit your question in writing in advance. Why do we have to wait all of these questions till at the time that it's being proposed? Called the legislation to the council until next week, all week, 1 week. Or I should like to ask the opposition party to take a step back and let's deal with the legislation, especially the veterans legislation negation. And I don't think that's shorter, but let's finish it up. Speaker.
Thank you.
Speaker, Chair.
Is that a request to modify for withdrawal? Honorable Naabik'íyáti?
Yes, it is, Speaker.
Okay, with that, Honorable Otto is request to withdraw your motion.
Mr. Speaker, the questions pertaining to the three legislation, one's going to require an amendment, and that's Eugene So's legislation. I don't know if his amendments are ready. We had a work session to that. And I believe there's amendment language that's going to be coming forth, and that's going to take time. And then with the questions pertaining to the nursing home, the veterans, I believe there's going to probably be future discussion on more discussion on that. So that's just what I'm thinking, because we tried to do a consent agenda. It failed. So the only thing to do is the motion to adjourn, and Honorable Mark Freeland indicated the staff safety. So if I withdraw, we all continue to stay here online, whoever's all online. And we hear all the reports, report A and report B. If you guys are consensus to that, because some of them will start getting off and no, we can't. So if you guys are all in consensus to stay online till we finish all the business, I'm okay with it. But I know someone's gonna start hanging up, and we might lose quorum, and that's what I'm trying to protect. So if I have a consensus on that from the body, Speaker, I will go ahead and withdraw my motion. And Mr. Speaker, ask for that consensus from the body. That way, I have their word. I don't want to lose quorum in the midst of this, and how it's going to look on council if we lose quorum. It is with that, Mr. Speaker. Back to you.
I got motion for consensus. I mean, I can't really, I'm just going to ask that, but I can't really guarantee that from our side. We used to guarantee it when we used to all be in the chambers.
Speaker Damon, Delegate Rick Nez, request to speak.
So with that, Honorable Otto, so it's Honorable Otto, so you're the motion. You're holding the motion.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and withdraw my motion, and we'll go ahead and stay till the end today. Hear all the legislation and hear the reports. Thank you.
That Honorable Otto withdraws. Honorable Vince James as a second. Are you continuing to hold the motion? I can't hear you, Honorable Vince James.
Judge Ishna, the speaker, if we're all in consent of staying online, I guess I'll go ahead and step back and withdraw my second motion. Thank you, Speaker.
Okay, with that, there's no motion. Colleagues, I do have Honorable Eugene, so that was on the amendment. With that, we're back on the main motion. Before I go on, is there any comments, questions before I go on to the next legislation?
Chair.
Speaker.
The more we conversate, the more time less we're conversating on legislations. Honorable Eugene, so floor is yours.
A question. If we did the consent with these three legislation, will it go just forward to the Navajo Nation Council next week?
Yes.
So, Chair, so then I can just consent these legislation, if somebody can second with me, then forward.
Honorable Eugene, so be mindful that there was already a motion in place, but there was individuals who wanted to ask questions on all three legislations. So I'll try it again, but if there's none, then I'm not going to try it in the future. Honorable Eugene, so is ready to motion for a consent agenda. Is there a second?
Delegate James.
Honorable Vince James, comments, questions? Anybody? Chairman Henio.
Also has questions.
Okay.
Again, along with my chair, Delegate Odo, so we both have questions on all three of them.
Okay. That, no consent agenda. Moving on down. Chairman Henio. Floor is yours.
This is what we're here for. And I sit patiently back, listening to comments and giving the floor go. We take a long time looking at comments and our points and everything. We wanted to say, and we actually want to, I'm respectful to the other delegates when they talk on and on and on and on. And I don't say anything, but when we have questions on stuff, it becomes an issue. So I have questions on the three legislations. And so the Speaker Damon.
Okay. That, I'm moving on. We don't have any motion, a second. Moving on our regular approved agenda. Moving on to item number E, legislation 0048-22. Mr. Rico, if you could read that into the record.
Speaker, point of privilege.
Freeland, point of privilege.
Thank you, Speaker. What
Question.
happens? Do we have until 11:59 to get all three done?
Yes.
Okay. What happens if we don't get by all three done by 11:59?
And then we all turn into
Pumpkins?
Yeah, we'll all turn into pumpkin and Carl Slater's glass slipper.
Thank you, Speaker.
No,
Speaker,
we will whatever legislations that are not discussed, we'll go on to the next Naabik'íyáti committee agenda under new business. That Honorable Otto, so do you have a point of?
we have just a reminder also, we have the reports too. Thank you.
Yes. That, Mr. Rico, floor is yours.
Thank you, Speaker, members of the Naabik'íyáti Committee. Tracking number 0048-22 in action relating to the Resource and Development, Health, Education, and Human Services, Budget and Finance, and Naabik'íyáti Committees and the Navajo Nation Council allocating $29,216,453 in citizen funds to the Navajo Land Nursing Home Incorporated for the construction and operation of a veterans nursing home, approving the Navajo Warriors Home Expenditure Plan pursuant to 12 NNC Section 2501 to 2508. Legislation is sponsored by Honorable Vice Chair Carl R. Slater, co-sponsored by Honorable Key Allen Begay Jr., Honorable Paul Begay Jr., Honorable Nathaniel Brown, Honorable Pernell Halona, Honorable Vince R. James, Honorable Ricky Nez, Honorable Raymond Smith Jr., Honorable Wilson C. Stewart Jr., Honorable Daniel E. So, Honorable Eugene So, Honorable Edison J. Wanika. You do have committee reports from the Resource and Development Committee that recommend and do pass with no amendment. A committee report from the Health, Education, and Human Services Committee that recommend do pass with no amendment. A committee report from the Budget and Finance Committee that recommend and do pass with no amendment. This legislation moves on to the Navajo Nation Council. Mr. Speaker.
All right, colleagues, is there a motion?
Motion, Delegate James.
Just by Honorable
Key Allen
James,
second, Delegate Paul Begay.
second by Honorable Keon Begay. All right, colleagues, any comments, questions? Twice.
Delegate Henio.
That. Almost later. Where's yours? 20 minutes on the board. And I have Honorable Honor So, then Chairman Henny on the queue.
Thank you, Chair, Speaker Damon, and thank you, colleagues, for the opportunity to present this important legislation 4822. Legislation will allocate $29 million to construct the first veterans home on the Navajo Nation for our vets. It will be a 60-bed facility, and the agent that will oversee the construction and management will be Navajo Land Nursing Home, which currently operates a nursing home, the Guy Gorman Senior Home in Chinle, Arizona. The facility will be open to all Navajo Nation veterans. It's not going to be exclusive to any region or agency or area. And this facility is much needed. It's something that when I came into office, I was asked by veterans in my community and across Central Agency and elsewhere to pursue. It's really the culmination, I'd say, of almost 2 decades of work started by Navajo Land Nursing Home to get a design, work on all the permits, the site work, and get it to where it is today. The operator, Navajo Land Nursing Home, has experience running skilled care, long-term care, and performing the nursing and financial and everything that is required to operate such a facility. So I'm confident that they will be capable and able to deliver this project. If you review the materials, there's approximately $26 million that will go toward construction and then $3 million in startup costs. And thereafter, the funding mix will support the continued operations of the facility. In addition to that, based off the efforts in February to obtain long-term care from IHS, I believe that both the nursing home and the veterans home will pursue long-term care contracts with the Indian Health Service starting in 2024, when that should be budgeted into the national IHS budget. And colleagues, since we've been on for a long time today, and I know that there are specific questions, I'll let you know that we have Mr. Claw, who's the director or the CEO of the nursing home, and then Delegate Hale, who is on the board of the nursing home, and they will be available to answer any questions, but I'd rather us just get straight into it. And if you would like to hear from them, please indicate so. It's cold here in the chambers. Ida wasn't here, so we don't know how to turn the heat on. Thank you. Speaker, I'll yield it back to you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Slater, with that, colleagues, we go ahead and go to the floor. Honorable Otto, floor is yours.
Mr. Speaker, I guess wanted to hear the nuts and bolts of this project, and heard the sponsor, but not from the operator and the introduction. The other is that we know that citizen requires leveraging, and that information, we need to get information out on that, so that we do try to cross our I's and dot our T's on citizen, because citizen requires leveraging when we appropriate dollars pertaining to citizen. So that information, you know, we as policymakers, we understand, but people on the line, I guess, can we hear more of the operator of the facility? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Otto. So with that, moving on down, Chairman Henio.
Yeah, the Speaker Damon, Chair of Naabik'íyáti Committee. I'll wait on my questions until after you honor Delegate Otoso's request. That way, it'll generate my questions too also.
Okay, with that, I don't know anybody else in the queue. Let me go back then to sponsor, Honorable Slater. What's yours?
Thank you, Delegate So, for the questions. And with respect to leveraging, I believe at least $250,000 has been put up to get the design and the permitting and all the work in order to get this to a construction-ready project. And then in terms of the nuts and bolts, I expect that you're talking about care, and you're talking about maybe the training of the nurses and how. Well, I'll let Mr. Claw and Mr. Hale go straight into it. I can answer some of it, but I'm sure you want to hear directly from them, like you said. So, Mr. Claw.
Thank you, Mr. Slater. Okay, Honorable Slater. I don't know yet. Delegates here, Nana. House Agito, Naabik'íyáti Bahalji here, Nana. Shinana and Kitty, Mr. So. Eddie leveraging in any year. Nave 2014 yata ita planning do design had which had the to NXA. Ita pesos and hain 350,000 because design yan data a could totally open dashnish. But the only thing is it needs to be updated that update nana's netal a the darn Murphy high land there. Ita at the Nas Khan the Ava de Snow, AVA de Snow, Ava. A veteran Sanat Leo, the Yoshi net, Yadash Kito, a Hedi Kayana Krego. Ita NXA that $14 million budget it is. She proposal by Ishlai, because deal which it didn't know. Ita Hutza. A adult o pasahol no do heti kahot either medigi as ana kaigosalito as anda asalo benina also the ka either committee ava this no all veterans auxiliary group this no yeah what's ako ita I reminded them they needed to write a letter to HUD NXA for extension to the snow kodo I go shade over car nashu and they car deal with it no hota but then other states though they lost the funding down Ita Kadeyata been out this Kilbana Shanagay the last 6-7 years. Is it possible to get these funded again to show through NXA? And then they did away with the recipient program. Yeah, they did away with it. Every year, annual funding plan. You on July be year. We proven that I couldn't add that this not a scale for the snow. I was reminded many times by NXA at then. Recipient program on hold nobody na adosa ndani kinda aja. We also have provided the House bill through O'Halloran, Kirkpatrick District 7 sa tahanan sto. So nana ani to go aided other Congress people Liberty Washington Albert Hale Yanshin Shinai a competency as added Congress. It's me delia it's a whole Leonard Society ini kedo. To this day then I've emailed many emails to Mr. Representative O'Halloran. But then these changes there is a House bill in place right now, but it's still sitting over the Veterans Committee subcommittee. As far as I know, I've been asking about it through an individual named Babbitt that works for O'Halloran. To this day, then we have tried to get additional money to match what we've been asking for. As many proposals I've written and matching, it's always been like 20, 30, 15%. And we have tried many times. Kadinda, Atara and O'Halloran called Nashitla, they don't know. I don't know what we'll probably try to send some more proposals to him. But that's going to take time again. Any quite down here at the 80-bed new nursing home. Only 2 years ago, we have veterans in our facility already. We're already working with a lot of veterans through Medicare and Medicaid. Nana Veterans Benefit Nana. Auto BIA 638. How they funding his own A. I don't the house. And we work very close with IHS next door, Dan, through MOA. Any veterans that get worse from anything, we have a referral program through IHS. We have 2 doctors, Dr. Weeks, Dr. Soleil, they're the one that take care of them. Once we do referral, and then once we do the referral, it's in IHS's hand. They become their patient. That's how we work with all the elders and all the veterans that are in the facility. We understand already that, yes, veterans are a different group of people, yes. There's some treatments they'll be getting differently. Those already have been acknowledged. We have IHS has a veterans treatment training going on in Prescott. We have some nurses that are been going to that training under IHS. Also, IHS had been sending some RNs to the same training. We're preparing way ahead of time, the last 6 months, with IHS to make sure we have RNs that have license and are experienced in working with veterans. So there really will be not that much difference on the treatment. I have nurses here already, traveling nurses that have experience in working in veteran facilities. So we've been preparing ourselves. We've been preparing policies. And some of the policy I know that was questioned was traditional ceremony. There's no policy in here. I don't know. I've heard that. So we do. We use a lot of traditional. Oh, you the best in you that every 1,000 aita do ichil and aita. Ado nana apisa Tuesday and apisa betali by the haloi. Kwa banda hit ish. Attend an ninigi aid and hitla na kit. Tuil and akon hinat ash. So most of those things are already set, and we want to make sure we're all prepared for this. Relating to the Kayas Anigi Kujito 2013 Yada Ita about they study brand new building. But 3 years ago, it's totally Arabi, not 2 years ago. Kayas Anigi Kujito just outside. Aita ni board directors Kayaye and Adaita. Not so say Aita to land department, real estate, to use the same assessments. That legal survey. We have a letter in real estate with the Navajo Nation with a lady by the name of Asus, Brenda Asus. We haven't gotten a response back from them yet, but we've been working very close with them to make sure we have all the assessments ready so they won't delay the project. So with that, and a lot of it, I have been doing that shit. It's just board directors, the current liaison, no. So, the preparation is already in place. We've been preparing the organization chart that ADAS prepared the Omani. Kun lead hard on Hidek Sati Chiliban yet. A question on I call what that imagine the Shinya need later edit in edit. Oh, I don't know the pandemic, no, not Neo. Not, or you're not need floor. But we have made every effort to try to get matching money. And as you all know, the Congress takes a long time to get money through. So, nin late ya. Nakata is seen there in the shape. Yeah, equa and us turned it Senate Ava group. Edo. It doesn't exist anymore. Eight basically, and let only what's a court. But I need going to election and I could only what egg. We do have veterans here. We'll be transferring them over once we build a building. We're putting those two together with our board members. Next week, our board's going to be approving a lot of the policies that involves the care on the veterans next Friday at the Georgia. I'm willing to answer the questions, and like I said, the last two that no van that count, I don't know. Shit over naturally. The car deal with that no a case uneven in under the nursing home. A board it just out of the nations what Well, thank you, and if you have any more questions, I will be available, Shanantai. Thank you.
And Speaker and colleagues, to follow up on the comment regarding leveraging, it is my goal that once this is passed by the nation, that we take this funding and legislation to both Congress and to the state and say, we have the contributions to build it, and now we're looking for you to contribute as well. In our meeting last week with Senator Sinema, I brought this up and discussed after the meeting with her staff, going after congressionally directed spending, which is the earmark process that Congress has initiated. And I'll be pursuing that with Senator Kelly and Congressman O'Halloran as soon as the legislation is signed into law. They are not going to fund projects that don't have any sort of contributions or funding set up at this point. And I think the same goes for the state. With respect to the state, Mr. Claw and myself have both met with legislators, and he had also met with the Veterans Administration to see if there was a possibility of funding. And they said, oh, maybe in a few years. And so this is really the best chance to get this facility moving forward for our veterans. And we have an aging population, and we have a lot of the baby boomer generation that are going to be retiring, and they're going to be moving home. And we have people who are going to be needing this, and they're going to be needing other assisted living or senior care across the nation. So I think if we can prove this concept here in Chinle, then we're going to have the template to invest in these sorts of facilities. And I would like to see them in every agency on the nation. We heard from Tuba City Regional Healthcare Corporation on the great work they're doing over there at the HES committee. And I think there's going to be an opportunity in the future to support them. And they've already received some congressionally directed spending because they had their own resources to contribute to this process, or to contribute to their process. And so I think we need to put some money up first, and then we're going to get some positive results, because our congressional delegation has been very supportive of Navaland Nursing Home in getting long-term care authorized, and now it's a matter of getting it funded. So thank you. Speaker, yield back to you.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Slater. That, let me go ahead and go back to the floor. Honorable Otto So, then Chairman Hino, and then back to Honorable Eugene So. Honorable Otto So.
Thank you very much. Thinking about the $29 million investment and the $216,000 possibly coming from what was through the design and the design that needs to be updated. And for the nation, we're going to be putting up $29 million on this. And I just want to get this on the record, because the Netherlands, he's late $29 million need so peso alcohol even na bash na dito ni opi ni do na to pa hazon o nas ni koko at isi dan hisni do li peso at san data at hisni do li na de kitsa do li even yeshin kona de kitsa I don't think that it is last so pa hot peso sa ajit banota. Know that there's a trust fund pertaining to the Veterans Administration. That puppet is leveraging. For other so sapa. Ade oban sa case ekoko ade so sapa. Puppet is John Doe le khala ya. So since last so pa I think if we could gear back to just make it another addition to the nursing home, veteran/nursing home, or the common Navajo. Also, the ones that didn't go to that are not veterans. But the idea is to, have available spaces. Current nursing home has so many spaces. Navajo citizens who qualify for it, being that nursing facility, because you're basically going to be utilizing their Social Security and their other entitlements. You're going to be receiving them. Basically, you're going to be intercepting those dollars from them, and you're going to be utilizing those dollars to pay for their RN, the staffing, and the O&M. I remember talking to hearing the last controller, the former controller, investment koko ala inas koko balanza koko ya peso nebante nota. The citizen money that was allocated was due to a breach of trust, where the federal government did not keep our documents safe. And a breach of trust ya. Ako even na give a peso. Whether there any Navajo that has a census number, a peso. Even a panda did kid. I don't know what this can't. Let's go vote without I don't know what this case. Talking about $29 million that's going to be appropriated. And yo nahiki ishan ilse and nike kon sadadi get like any the legislation pertaining to legislation 257-22. It was at a sliding scale, and a press release came out that the delegates were going to utilize these dollars to their own discretion, sort of like a discretionary fund. Even not what so men lead at the local level. At the local level, I did not. I did ye. Not fund that door. No. Even not Joe now. I do support this project, but I just want to make sure that things are conveyed to the Navajo people. In the heart, if they pass it, yeah. But if you don't hit the door, the whole council just spending money to hit it on me. If you pay, it's the door, none hit the just now. In press in the form of a press release. But in return, we as the delegates of the nation, the legislatures, we try to get projects funded at the local level. This is this very case that you have here, Mr.